good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is a quick video where I'm going to review the 10 items that I pre-announced that I wasn't going to take on the Camino, and just to see whether my choice was a good choice or not.
Smash that like button. Woo!
Like and subscribe.
Right. The first item are earplugs. This was the contentious item. I did get some direct messages about this, but earplugs. I don't wear earplugs. I find them difficult to wear. But really, how did I fare? Did it make a difference? Well, of all the nights that we booked in albergues or hotels or whatever it might be, 25 of them were in bunkhouses. So sharing a bunk room with 20 others or 16 others or 8 others or whatever. And of all those nights, there was actually only one where there was an American gentleman who snored so badly that actually somebody got up from a bed near him and shook him. And yes, everybody in the room had a disturbed night. But apart from that, people may well have snored. Yes, people did snore. But did it actually stop me getting any sleep? No. The other thing to take into consideration is that in most albergues, between 9 and 10 o'clock is sort of officially the time when the lights go out and you go to sleep. So from that time through to 5 in the morning, where people start getting up, there's actually 8 hours. So you should be able to get a fair amount of sleep. And just to sort of summarize, yes, there was only one night when earplugs, if I could wear earplugs, may have been useful. So I'm not going to change my decision. It was the right decision. I didn't need earplugs, and I'm not convinced you do need earplugs. But in the end, it's your decision. The second thing that I said that I wouldn't be taking with me was an eye mask. Now, I did see a couple of people with eye masks, but clearly it's an item that's on the margins of what people take with them. So I decided not to take an eye mask, and it looks like pretty much everyone else was of the same opinion, because I saw very few eye masks. Okay, the third item that I said that I wouldn't be taking with me on the Camino was an umbrella. And that's an item which I potentially could change my decision, but overall I wouldn't. I did see people with umbrellas when you get onto the Meseta. Yes, it can be useful. When it rained, well, I got rain gear, so that wasn't an issue. Of all the people I saw with umbrellas, I only saw 2 people who actually had fittings to fix it to the shoulder strap of their backpack. Most people were trying to hold it at the same time as trying to hold their walking sticks, their trekking poles, and they really struggled. But would it have been useful in the really hot weather? Maybe. But I made the decision not to take it, and I stand by that decision. I didn't need it, and for most people, I don't think you do need one. But if you want to take it, take it. It's up to you. You can carry whatever you wish. The fourth item that I said I wasn't going to take with me was a headlamp. Now, I gave as one of my reasons originally that I had been used to sleeping in bunkhouses on Tour de Mont Blanc and on the Appalachian Trail and places, and I didn't see the need to use a headlamp. And yeah, the albergues on the Camino Frances are so well equipped. There wasn't really any time when, if you got up at 3 in the morning, did you need a light in order to find the toilet or in order to get out to the toilet shower block? And the answer was no. And there are lots of automatic lights that come on. To be honest, the real issue is if you're on the top bunk, of getting out of a bunk bed rather than having a light showing. So I decided not to take a headlamp, and for me it was the right decision. I'm not going to change my mind on that one. The sixth item I said that I wouldn't take with me on the Camino was a pack cover, and 2 reasons why. One, I have a inner bag, which to be fair I'm going to have to replace because it's got a couple of holes in it now, and my pack doesn't seem to leak anyway. I saw lots of people with pack covers, no idea why they were using them. It's just an extra piece of weight. It hardly rained during the period that we were on the Camino, and I wouldn't change my decision. I don't think it's worth taking a pack cover. The seventh item that I said that I wouldn't take with me, which I never do, are all the extra electronics, either drones or quite serious cameras. Now, I did see quite a few people with some pretty decent cameras, mainly after we got to Sarria, and it's in the last 100 kilometers, and that's the majority of peregrinos that do the Camino Frances start in Sarria. Of those, I only saw one lady who actually had a proper clip to clip her camera to her shoulder strap, so I assume that she's well versed in using it. Everyone else, it was just a normal strap that went over the shoulder and it banged around. But I saw one drone very early on. It was a Dutch guy. I had a good conversation with him. My decision not to take those extra electronics, I stand by. One thing I did do, which was a change from a normal process, I actually bought a European multi-plug. Rather than having an adapter and pushing into an adapter, I just bought a plug. And yes, that was much better. It meant it went into far more electric sockets, and it also didn't take up as much space when there were 3 or 4 sockets and you're sharing them amongst a lot of people. So, not going to change my decision. The 8th thing that I said that I wouldn't take on the Camino was a chair, one of these lightweight chairs. Never saw anybody with a chair. What I did take was a sit pad. I saw a couple of people with sit pads. I saw groups of Spanish and French hikers who clearly use not sit pads but sleep pads on the outside of their packs, but I didn't see anybody else with a sit pad. I found it very useful. So whilst I didn't take a chair, I did take a sit pad, and if I did it again, I would definitely take a sit pad. The 9th item I said that I wouldn't take on the Camino was actually a third of something. A third pair of socks, a third shirt. And I would stick by that. There are so many places at every albergue where you either have washing facilities and washing machines, or you have enough sinks to wash things. And obviously the time of the year we went, it's pretty warm and things dry very quickly. So having 2 outfits is enough. Probably where I would change is I didn't take a lightweight sleep set with me. So pajamas of some sort. And if I did the Camino Frances again, I would probably take those. Normally what I did is I slept in the next day's clothes. But with the amount of weight you're taking, which is not a great deal, I would probably take a sleep set. So I would change my decision on that. But the general point of not taking a third of something, a third pair of socks, a third top, yeah, I would stick by that. The final item that I said that I wouldn't take was a shaving kit. And I need a bit of a shave now, but I didn't shave. I didn't need to. And I was actually out on a limb on that one. The majority of the men that I saw did take shaving kits of some sort and were clean shaven halfway through the trail. I didn't. It's just a lightweight thing. It's just one less thing to worry about and to concern yourself about. But I wouldn't change my decision, but lots of people did take shaving kits. I did have a few extra items that I said whether I would or wouldn't take. One of them was gloves. No, it was nowhere near cold enough to use gloves. But it was very interesting that the cultural difference for people from Asia who cover up the visible skin, lots of them wore lightweight gloves. So whilst in your head you're thinking gloves, you're thinking of cold weather, there are people with cultural differences and they have a different view, and yes, they wore gloves. I mentioned shower sandals. The standard of facilities, all the albergues, was very high. There was no need to wear sandals in showers. If you're the sort of person that is worried about it, you'll always wear them. But they were very clean showers and there was no need. And I carried Crocs anyway as my evening shoe wear. So if I needed to, I had something, but I never did. I did quickly mention bug nets. There were no bugs, so no need for a bug net. Not really much of anything to miss. I also said about a heavy waterproof. If I had gone in February or if I'd gone in October, November, I would have probably taken a heavier waterproof. I took a very lightweight waterproof and that was probably its last outing. It started to degrade, didn't need a heavy waterproof, and didn't take one. The final honourable mention I had was about a medical kit, and I did take, in the end, too much. There are so many, I was quite surprised, there are so many pharmacies, and you can even get stuff in supermarkets, that there is actually no need to take pretty much everything. Foot care is the one thing that you probably ought to ensure you've got what is to you is a good supply, and maybe some paracetamol and maybe some ibuprofen. But apart from that, you are so close to everything. Really, there's nothing in the medical kit or a toiletry kit that you need to take in any great quantity. Certainly the toilet kit and the first aid kit, what I took was too large. I could probably have halved it, so I certainly learned that. And that's it. So the majority of the items that I said that I wasn't going to take with me, I didn't actually need. Probably the main thing was a sleep set, purely just to feel more comfortable at night. Because, yeah, that might have made it a little bit nicer. But all the items that I said I didn't need, I didn't need.
Smash that like button. Woo!
Like and subscribe.